Sunday morning in the shop. I just finished up the Jeep Grand Cherokee. I forgot my camera at home. Very basic. JVC doubled in. I think it's for their daughter. They just got her this vehicle. Then we have a backup camera. So as far as the 350Z, my daughter's in there right now detailing it, getting it all cleaned up. He should be here in the next couple hours, pick it up. All right, so the 300's done. The customer's here to get it. So I've got to hurry up. So check this out. Customer wants to get his car and go home. Okay, so I hope that footage was okay. It kind of sucks. The customer came early. My daughter was still wiping down the car because she washed the outside. I didn't even have the sub enclosure in the car. I real quickly grabbed my phone and did what you just saw. Car came out awesome. The install was awesome. The system sounds amazing. My daughter detailed the crap out of that car. The outside, beautiful, and the guy gave my daughter a really nice tip, and he gave me a very nice tip. Awesome customer, really appreciated it. But now it's almost 4 o'clock. It's Easter Sunday. It's over. Later. What's up? It is Tuesday in the shop. You're not gonna see Monday because I took Monday off because I have to do all my taxes and get stuff together. Video I posted up on YouTube Monday morning, so last week's. I messed up and didn't put any background music. It's a very strange video if you watch it. There's some parts where there's just no sound, nothing going on, because yeah, that was like B-roll. But the big monster Ram is back. I would like to point out that I'm 5'9". I'm a very short, portly man. And this truck is very, very, very high. And the owner of this truck is shorter than me, and there are no side steps. Personally hate working on this truck because it is so physically demanding to get in and out of this vehicle. It is dumb. I have to actually go get some steps to put up here next against it. But why is this Ram here again? Let's go through it. So this Ram was originally a customer for another shop that ripped him off thousands and thousands of dollars for a horrible install. And I did what I could with what he had. But we went ahead and we did custom speaker pods in the A-pillars with the Ground Zero titanium 3-way components. The woofers and the doors. He purchased the Sony ES floating screen, so he installed that. So I took the sub box, cut it up, and modified it. So he had, the box originally had these 4 8-inch Ground Zero subs in it, but they were all cone up. This was like up to here. And there's a port down there, but it was completely tuned wrong. It was horrible. So I took it, cut it down, flipped these so I could fit the amp rack across the front here. I laser cut the logos and put in a DSP, 3K amp, and a 2-channel amp. It sounded great to me. I banged on this thing for a couple hours while it was here. Sounded awesome. He doesn't like the way it sounds because the type of music he listens to is not what we tuned it to, what we listen to. And I don't know how to say it without saying it sounding racist. I don't know. But he listens to Mexican music. I've asked multiple people what that style of music is called. Nobody can ever tell me. Because of that and the instruments and the frequencies in that type of music, this system was not really set up for that. So he doesn't like the way it sounds. The speakers are having a hard time reproducing what he wants. So he's brought it back and we are going to gut this whole thing. I am making zero money on this job. This is all the money that he has put towards this part right here has all went towards the equipment. And he bought a Gately box. So there's a Gately 4 8-inch sub box in there that I gotta put in here. So now I need to figure out where I'm gonna put all the amplifiers, design a new rack. We got all new amps, put it in the radioactive SQs, And I got him new custom speaker pods for the A-pillars to hold the new mid-ranges. And I got him dual 6.5-inch pods for his front doors for the 6.5-inch mid basses, because that'll go along more with the type of music he listens to, and they're carbon fiber, and he said he didn't care if I cut up his door panel. So I need to blow this thing apart, rip out my original install, and start redesigning. And let's go check out the other box. This is the Gately box he purchased. He called me and asked me if it was worth it, and I said, if it'll work for you, that's fine. I mean, if I don't have to build you a box, I'm not gonna complain. It's apparently 3 cubic feet in there, which is almost exactly what those Ground Zero 8s are calling for all 4 of them. So I need to pull out everything I did, drop that box in, and I need to see if the back seats still fold down. The reason I say that is I only have 2 options. I can either do the amp rack underneath the seats right here, all the way across. If we can't go there, then we gotta get a little tricky. The only other option is gonna be going to bed. Now, luckily he has his topper, so it's not that big of a deal, but I'd have to put a big 3-inch hole between the cab and the bed, put a rubber liner, and run all the wiring from the cab into here. So we're gonna see if we can get it under the seats, keep everything inside. If not, we're gonna have to go in here. And the reason for that is this is all the amplifiers and stuff. There's a lot going on there. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna blow this thing apart, and that'll be it for the day, because there's no reason to move forward. It's all design time right now. And that's what I'm gonna be doing most of this week, because I'm kind of making this up as I go. I'm really hoping that I get this thing done like by this weekend, because I need to get other jobs in here to make money. Wednesday in the shop, and I'm not gonna lie, today is just one of those days where nothing is really, things just are not going like right. Nothing's really hitting. A lot of it has to do, I think, with this weather. It was like 70 degrees 2 days ago. It's 41, freezing cold, sleet, ice, rain. It is miserable outside. I tested the Gately box. It fits in here, and I found that there is enough room for me to do a rack on top of the box. It's actually gonna be very basic and simple, but look very clean. So that's what's going on in here. Here is the setup we're gonna go with. We're going with a 4-channel, a mono block, a 4-channel, and a new DSP that hasn't been delivered yet. I'll be running 500 watts to each 8, and that should be just fine, because one of the reasons why Gately boxes are considered so great has nothing to do with the way they're built. I've been building boxes like this for 30 years. There's nothing special about the way this box is built. What we end up with are very efficient boxes. Efficient boxes will play very loud and be very impressive when you hear them, because you'll be like, wow, I didn't expect this thing to bump that good. Because most people don't understand, 50% of your bass output comes from the sub and the power. The other 50% is the enclosure. If you have a very inefficient enclosure, it doesn't matter how much power you put to that sub, you're only gonna hit a certain amount of bass before it's gonna fall on its face. If you have a very efficient box, it will play very loud. It'll play way loud, clean, and it won't stress the subwoofer. It won't stress the amplifiers. It'll be able to perform like it wants. What's up? It is Thursday, and yeah, I kind of screwed you guys over yesterday with any footage. Yesterday was really just a day where I ended up kind of trying to figure out what I was going to do. We ran into a whole lot of weird issues. Now this is going to look very simple and simplistic, and people may be like, wow, that's not very impressive. And that's kind of the trick to when you're doing things that aren't real simple, because this is going to be a huge pain in the ass and a ton of work to make look right. The first thing I got to do is figure up the straight line here, cut it, and then match their router radius on that curve to there. I reached out to Gately. I didn't think they got back to me, and they actually did. It went into the junk mail. So I found the stain that they do use. They told me what it is, so now I'm going to have to go get that. We're gonna stain all this to match, and we're gonna try and make this just look like one flowing piece. I'm trying to think of a way of where I can make this a modular rack so that I can actually do it sitting here at the table, wire everything up, get it all done, then go into the vehicle and lock it down in place. The DSP should be able to sit right there on the back of the ledge, and then I can come up with the RCAs. There's no reason to ever need to access the DSP or show it off. You hook up to it via laptop and do all your settings. I think one of the problems we had with this vehicle from the get-go is it was too complicated. I think this thing needs to be simplified. It makes things work better, more efficiently, and he won't have so many problems. So that's what I'm working on today. So yeah, this is gonna be a short week as far as video, because the weather is just so bad. I don't want to be here. But what I've got is I've got the base here, right? And I've steamed it because it did have a little bit of a bend, and I needed to not have a bend. This is going to be this is all going to be removable. So this is all going to come off. This piece right here will all be like that. So then I can build the rack, run all of the wiring down. So then when I put this box in the truck, then I can set the amp rack, mount it to the box, and those distros will be there, and all my wire connections can happen here. I've got the amp plate rounded and curved so it matches up, so it does a nice little blend. And now I have these standoffs, they're glued, so they're all drying. The big amp will sit in the middle. It'll sit a little bit higher than the other ones, just for a visual effect, but the 4 channels will be on each side. So I need to cut big, 2 or 3 inch holes right here in the center, and that's where the wiring will come up and go underneath into the amplifiers. I think I'm done. And my son's off today, and whenever he's not at work, I kind of like going home. I hang out with my son, so I can hang out with him, and then he works all week, and then I'll be here till midnight or 1 in the morning every night this weekend, and that'll make up for this lazy day. All right, talked myself out of it. See you tomorrow. All right, it's Friday in the shop. Hopefully the day goes a little bit better and have a little bit more motivation. I was able to stain the amp rack to a perfect match to the enclosure. It actually is gonna look really nice when I've already put them together just to see how it all fits. So today we're going to basically mock up, get the amps mounted, kind of mock up how it's all gonna work. As far as the speakers and the speaker pods, they haven't came in yet. Started getting the wire runs started. We've got 4 gauge power and ground here, dual 4 gauge ground and power going right there, 4 gauge power and ground here, and then it's all gonna come around. UPS just came, so they dropped off. What we got here is the new door pods for the RAM, so I can test these things out, make sure they're gonna fit all right. The extra pair of mid-ranges, so we have 2 mid-ranges going inside, or mid-bases going inside these doors. The new DSP, because the other DSP, we removed it. And the new controller, because the current controller I have in there will not work with this DSP. And new A-pillar pods, because we changed out to a different set, and the mid-ranges on these are not 4-inch like they were on the titanium. So, and all this stuff came from custom speaker pods. Got the passenger door here. And looks like the pod fits there just fine. So obviously what we have to do is that has to all be cut behind the door panel there. The customer said that that's fine. So if you're not willing to cut your door panels, you're not going to be able to do pods like these. Now, I'm not going to do any of that stuff today. Today I'm kind of in the stained wood amp rack mode. So I don't feel like jumping back and forth. Plus I have stain and chemicals and things on my hands, and I don't want to be touching this truck. All right, well, that's going to be the end of Friday. The lights are out. The wife would like to go out and have date night. So happy wife, happy life. Got everything set up to be bolted down the amp rack onto the box. Tomorrow is going to be a pretty solid grind day. See you tomorrow. Okay, it's Saturday morning in the shop. Last day of video for you guys here on YouTube. I know this has been a lame ass week. There's really been nothing cool on this entire video. But my daughter is detailing today, so we got that going on. There she is. Yay, Sadie! We're gonna get back on this RAM today. This is very slow moving, but speaker pods are here. The speakers are here. Everything's here. So I have tons of work I can do. Slowly chipping away at it. So we've got the A pillars here. And this is the 3-way set that we're putting in. There's the woofers. So there'll be 2 of those in each door. And there's the passive crossovers that we will not be using. That's what going active means, in case you didn't know. Active means that the tweeters and the mid-range, each one of those will be getting its own amplifier channel. And here's the rack with the amps mounted and wired. Looks pretty clean. I mean, that's gonna be behind the seat. I haven't put in the carbon fiber or the fiber optic light there. I'm still debating. Just don't know if it takes away from the actual look of it, because it doesn't really go with the wood grain stain kind of look. Move the truck outside because honestly, it's just so big. I was starting to feel like claustrophobic with it in here. I guess the next step for really want to is I can pull the door panels and then figure out what I need to cut out. So we got the door panel mods done. We have the dual 6.5-inch woofers, each door with the carbon fiber custom speaker pods. Up here we've got the A-pillars. These are the speakers that we took out. So those are the acrylic speaker adapters I had made on the previous install. Customer didn't like that series, so we went to a new series of speakers. Now just be aware, if you want to do these custom speaker pods, the mod doesn't stop at the door panel. You also have to cut the factory 6x9 actual studs there. Now with the door panels done, the A-pillars done, I need to complete the sub-enclosure to install all the 8s into the sub-enclosure, which is going to be a very tedious, mind-numbing job. Then I also am going to have to, which I really didn't want to have to, but I'm going to have to pull up all the trim. But the controller cable for the DSP is different, so I got to run a new one of those. I also need to rewire the front. I need another pair of speaker leads going to the A-pillars since we're now going to be going active. It is Saturday. It's about 7 o'clock at night. It's still daylight out, which is nice. But this is the last video of the week. So I don't know. Is that enough for you guys? Because you're not going to see the rest till next week's YouTube. I don't know. Let me think about it. And that'll be it. That'll be all. It's Saturday night. I'm done. Just pulled the truck back in. Didn't really do anything else other than I went in and labeled all the RCAs, all the wiring, labeled all the inputs and outputs on the DSP. I'll come back tomorrow, which will be Sunday, so that'll be the beginning of next week's YouTube video, and I will get back to work on this. I'm going to start putting the door panels, the A-pillars, running the wiring. But that's it. Take it easy. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe.